Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into our presentation. We're very pleased to introduce ourselves as the co-chairs of the Data Governance Working Group. My name's Jenny Tennyson. I'm Vice President and Chief Strategy Advisor at the Open Data Institute, which is a not-for-profit based in the UK. And Maya?
My name is Maya Bogataj-Jancic. I'm the founder and the head of Intellectual Property Institute, the research and consultancy institution here in Slovenia. I must stress at the very beginning that I'm honored to be co-chairing this working group with Jenny. I'm particularly pleased that we share perspectives and opinions about most fundamental issues around data governance. Before we go to the agenda, let's take a moment and say why this all matters. We both came into this role with a shared belief that good data governance, that the data is collected, used, and shared in responsible and trustworthy way, that the good data governance is one of the fundamental challenges in the development of artificial intelligence. The data governance must be consistent with human rights, inclusion, diversity, innovation, economic growth, and social benefits, and in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. This year, we are tested with many challenges, and the COVID-19 response shows us why good data governance is essential in finding solution for this big challenge. So we are a group of experts that share their commitment to this group. I must thank them right now for their time and effort and commitment that they have shown. We are an energetic, passionate, and collaborative group that we bring global perspective to our work. At this moment, I would like also to say thank you to Montreal Center, especially to Jacques and especially to Ed for their huge support in our work.
So just to go through what we're going to talk about today, Maya is going to introduce the working group and our membership. I'm going to talk through our mandate and how we got to it. Maya is going to talk through what we've been doing over the past few months. I'll talk through our initial recommendations and outputs. Maya will talk about our priorities for the first half of next year, and I'll talk about our longer term vision. Over to you, Maya.
Let me introduce our working group. We consist of 27 experts and we already have 2 observers. We come from 17 different countries and we bring perspective from technical, legal, and institutional aspects. We bring insights from scientific community, industry, civil society, and international organizations. This all provided a rich discourse in the working group deliberations. And we are also very looking forward for the expansion of GPAI membership in 2021. And we are hardly waiting to welcome new experts among us.
Our mandate really feeds into the overall mandate for GPAI. So we care about making sure that AI is consistent with human rights, inclusion, diversity, innovation, economic growth, and societal benefit, and aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. And we're working to create evidence and research, do applied AI projects, and provide expertise on data governance. For data governance itself, we mean the collection, the use, the sharing, archival, and deletion of data in order to support AI. And we see a lot of overlap with the work of other working groups, in particular, strong links with the Responsible AI Working Group. They may be looking more at how to model AI development and how to employ data sets, but we need to focus on how to collect and manage data responsibly in the first place and how to describe data sets so that those creating AI can choose what to use. As we'll come to later, we're really keen to have good links with the other working groups within GPAI and to work closely together.
In our approach to work, we committed very early on that we will work openly, transparently, that will collaborate, and we will be diverse in our processes. As our reports already demonstrate, we were the first working group to start using OECD artificial intelligence block. We were the first working group to run a competitive and open process in selecting our consultancy partner. We openly published the data governance framework project as a beta version and invited different stakeholders to send us comments. And we also have initiated a catalog of global South experts to invite to our workshops. And we intend to put much effort into this last goal. But if you have any more ideas, or if you have great examples of how to improve our work, please share them with us.
The work that we've done itself over the past few months has really been around two specific outputs. First of all, we've paid attention to a framework for our working group, definitions of terms, so that we can scope our work and really come to a common understanding of what we mean by data governance. And then the second output has been an investigation into the role of data in AI, to really dig into how data is used in the development of AI, and also look at things like where there might be specific data sets that could be worth investing in as open data sets at a national or international level. The framework has been led by Christiane Renderhorst, and at the University of Vienna, and professor of civil law there, and also president of the European Law Institute. And she's had great support from two research assistants, Nina Tomic and Yannick Duller, as well as really great collaboration with the steering committee, a subset of our working group. At the headline level, then, the framework really covers four areas: the role of data in the AI context, why data governance matters, the parameters of data governance, which includes things about what kinds of categories of data there are, what data ecosystems look like, what rights there are with regard to data, and then a brief roadmap about where our future work might lie. And we intend this to be a living document. It will need to evolve as we continue to do other work in this field. The second of our, and the framework document also provides a roadmap forward that really focuses on these three areas: technical work around things like privacy enhancing technologies, legal work where we might need to pay attention to the law that governs the use of data, and also institutional work. What kinds of organizations and institutions and systematic changes do we need to make data governance work better? The other piece of work that we've done, the other output, is on the role of data in AI. And this was led by the University of Edinburgh with expertise from the School of Informatics, the Digital Curation Centre, and Trilateral Research. It digs more deeply into some of the issues that were raised within the framework, and also identifies some areas for us to do more work in. It covers things like the key steps in the use of data in AI development, the main types of data that are used in AI and their important characteristics. It also digs into two case studies: data in the pandemic response and in natural language technologies. We've also looked in that paper at the impact of unequal access to data sets and benefits and harms in the socio-ethical, economic, environmental, and legal levels. There's a set of recommendations that are provided, and those are shown here. So first of all, they recommended to us that we work further on best practices and standards for data governance, in particular around transparency for data users, the kind of documentation that we might provide around data sets and metadata for AI projects. They also highlighted that we could do work to create good quality data sets in priority fields aligned with those UN Sustainable Development Goals. They said that we should particularly look at how to improve cross-border data sharing and provide guidelines for organisations on how to address the current barriers, such as intellectual property rights or privacy or data protection legislation and issues of data sovereignty. And then they also highlighted that we should undertake targeted research into the broader topic of data injustice and harms, which I know many of us will recognise as incredibly important in data governance and the creation of responsible AI. So we just want to take a moment to thank very much the Digital Curation Centre, School of Informatics and Bayes Centre for these recommendations, and they will definitely be informing the next steps in our work.
So our working group is now drawing from these two outputs that Jenny just described, and we aim to develop a concept notes that will describe what should be project and programs that could be advanced, could advance GPAI's mission, and could be funded by GPAI's members and with partnership with others. The main idea is that this concept note will provide a way of getting to action by framing a set of challenges in terms of activity. So the concept notes will include a description of the program and the background, the intended impact, the specific outcomes, activities involved, outputs, and even description of the resources. We want to phrase them in a way like we don't know certain things, so we need additional research, or we do not have certain things and we need to develop them. So all these recommendations will, for the concept notes, will be based on the role of data in artificial intelligence, and also on will be set along the lines of our basic framework document. So the working group used its final meeting just before the summit to develop the first short list of initial ideas. They are divided among technical, legal, and institutional. So, for example, under technical roadmap, the suggestion is to develop the business case for public research and development investment into authorization of privacy, sovereignty, and IP protecting technologies. For legal challenges, it was identified that maybe the challenging question is, do we need global unified rules for copyright exception for text and data mining to globally resolve the issues regarding that? And under institutional opportunities, one that was identified is challenge of data trusts. There is clear demand for new institutions to support trustworthy data sharing and data trusts, offer some sort of a solution to this gap. But despite the excitement surrounding this concept, a lot needs to be done. So we will focus our work on that. So but the most important thing is that we'll hear from you what would be the interesting topics that we need to explore further. So we are inviting you now, and you'll be invited during our workshop to help us frame some issues. We will the criteria that we are going to use are the following, like which issues would particularly help with data governance in the artificial intelligence context, like which would help us to progress toward sustainable development goals, which require international collaboration and which require collaboration across governments, business, academia, and third sector. So the summit is going to be a great opportunity to open these questions and invite you all to participate and help us with our future work. And I'm really, really looking forward to hearing all of your ideas.
So yes, that collaborative spirit really reflects our longer term vision for the working group. These concept notes that we're going to be developing over the next 6 months will open a project lifecycle that will last for another 2 years, that we hope to renew as new needs and priorities emerge. We anticipate that data governance will play a foundational role across many of GPAI's projects. And so we want to be as responsive as possible as a working group, whether that's lending expertise to other working group projects or working together on our projects with perhaps third parties outside of GPAI. So we're looking forward to discussing all of this with you over the next couple of days. And we're really thinking of the summit as kickstarting the beginning of a new phase of collaboration with you. Finally, I just really want to thank Maya as being an excellent co-chair, all the wonderful members of our working group, and in particular, as Maya said, the team at the Montreal Centre, Jacques, of course, but also the huge amount of support that we've received from Ed Tether, who's really made all of this possible. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.